Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Mahavishtam Sthapitam yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swatadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagra Jatam Sadhana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sadhana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopita Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanamante Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone to the Sunday program and wish you all a very happy Nithyananda Trayodashi. So I'd like to thank the temple management for giving me this opportunity, and I have no qualification to speak on this spiritual subject. With the mercy of my Guru Maharaj and all the Vaishnavas, I will speak whatever I can for my own purification, and so I hope I will be able to enlighten you. So we just did the Abhishek for Lord Nithyananda. I just heard in a lecture that life is a preparation and death is the examination. So we all go through life, but we don't grow through life. We just go on with our life without wondering what our purpose is when we get this life. So now for a moment, let's imagine that the whole life is an examination. So this is a very nice analogy that the Prabhuji was giving. He said, Satyug means it's the most difficult examination. And if we have to answer those questions, we have to literally pull our hair apart because they're so difficult. So many of us would just fail. So then comes Treta Yuga. It becomes a little bit easier. So the questions are a little bit simpler. They're like, fill in the blanks or match the following. But after this also, a lot of people would still fail. So then comes the Dwapar Yuga. Here we get MCQs, multiple choice questions. So you just pick any, and you will pass. But here again, there are many people who would still fail. And then comes the Kali Yuga. So who are those people that would fail in Dwapar Yuga and come to Kali Yuga? That's all of us. Because we have failed all those exams and all we wanted was to enjoy. At some point we had this thought that, okay, the Lord is enjoying all the time, why can't I enjoy? The moment we got this thought, the Lord said, okay, here you go. Go ahead and enjoy. So we are here assuming that we are enjoying, thinking that we are enjoying, but in reality we are all suffering. Because this is Dukkhalayam Ashashtra. It's full of miseries and it's temporary. So even if we have happiness, it will be for a temporary phase. Even if we have sorrows, it will be for temporary phase. Nothing is permanent. If sorrows will come, then happiness will follow. And then again sorrows will follow. The cycle goes on, like the cycle of birth, old age, death and disease. Right? So in Kali Yuga, we don't have any interest in taking exams. We see the children, when it comes, exam time comes, they're all, like, okay, what's going on? I don't know how to answer the questions. I don't know, I'm afraid, whether I'll pass or I'll fail. And they just don't want to take any exams. So, the difference, let's see the difference between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, how they are merciful. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, come to the exam hall, fill up your name and your roll number, and I'll, pass you in the exam. So we say, okay, that's great. But Nityananda Prabhu is merciful. He is the most merciful. He is epitome of mercy. So he goes one step further and he asks a question to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that what if somebody doesn't want to even come to the exam hall? What happens to those people? So Nityananda Prabhu says, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells Nityananda Prabhu, those people who don't come to the exam hall, you take the question paper, you take the answer paper, go to their house, somehow convince them to write their roll number and their name, and you appear for their exam. How merciful can it get? So that's what Nityananda Prabhu does. He's all the time in the mood of service. The sole reason for his appearance was to assist Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his servants to serve them. So he's here in the mood of service, teaching us how to serve with love, with affection, with full devotion, without any expectations. What we call Nishkam Bhakti. So Nishkam Bhakti is bhakti with no expectations at all, no personal motive. There's nothing that I want for myself. It's all how I can please the Lord, how I can serve the devotees. And the Acharyas have time and again shown us in the scriptures that how we can serve with full devotion. And the Lord will always be merciful. And this was the instructions given to by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Nityananda Prabhu, that you go to the places that I cannot go. Go to the places where people are gambling. Go to the places where people are drinking liquor. Because as a sannyasi, I cannot go to those places. So you go to those places and you preach them. Give them the love of God. Give them Harinam. And you preach them. And that's exactly what Nityananda Prabhu would do. He would go to all those places where nobody else would even dare to go. And he would beg. He would fall at their feet. He would cry. And he said, at least once chant the name of the Lord. Even once if you take the name of the Lord with full faith and devotion, you will be delivered. So what more can we ask for? And it is described in the scriptures that Lord Balram is the first expansion from Lord Krishna. And in some places it is even mentioned that he appears before Krishna. And Lord Balram is known as the Adi Guru. So he is the first Guru. And what is his mood? His mood is just to serve. And there is no difference between Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram. There is no difference at all. They have the same qualities, they have the same opulence, they have the same knowledge, they have the same beauty, they have the same renunciation. There is no difference whatsoever. But Prabhupada says there are two differences between them. Does anybody want to take a guess what those are? Okay.
And their instrument that they have.
No.
Weapons.
No.
Color.
Color is the first difference. So the color, the complexion. So Krishna has the complexion of the fresh monsoon clouds. So we call it the bluish black complexion, right? Meghavarna. That is the complexion of Krishna. Whereas Balaram has the complexion of the newly formed spring clouds, which is the white complexion. That's why Balaram is white and Krishna is bluish black or whatever we call it, right? The second is their mood. That's the main second difference, is the mood. So, again, as I said, they possess everything, all the same qualities, no difference. But Krishna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is in the mood of accepting service. Whereas Lord Balaram, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is in the service mood. So he wants to offer service. So one is accepting service and the other is offering service. So these are the two major differences between Lord Krishna and Balaram. Other than that, there is no difference. Right? And Lord Balaram teaches us how to express love by serving. And it's amazing how Lord Balaram takes every opportunity to serve the Supreme Lord. He would just wait. The moment he sees, okay, I have an opportunity to serve, he'll be the first one to grab it. Like Hanuman, always ready to serve Lord Ram. Right? Then they had to literally plan that how can we stop from Hanuman from serving Lord Ram, because he's always there, he doesn't allow us to do anything. So they had to literally plan, take Mother Sita into confidence, and then approach Lord Ram, so that Hanuman did not get any service. But Hanuman is Hanuman. He will find a way to serve Lord Ram. So, and then we see that in Treta Yuga, Lord Nityananda appears as Lakshman to serve Lord Ram. Now in that yuga, the wife would generally follow in the footsteps of the husband, as per the scriptures. But there is no mention that the brother should also follow his elder brother. But here, Lakshman is demonstrating the servitor mood, the service mood. So he, with his own will, nobody told him that, okay, you also have to, when Ram was banished to the forest, nobody told Lakshman that, okay, even you have to go. Because Lakshman, if in Kali Yuga, he would say, wow, this is the best, elder brother is gone, now all the fame, wealth, money, everything, it's my power, I have everything. Lakshman could have easily done that, but he didn't do it. He, with his own will, decided that I will go and serve. I will follow Lord Ram and I will serve him. And for 14 years, what did he do? He ate only herbs and fruits or whatever was available. He did not even sleep even one night. So in the daytime he would serve, bring water, bring flowers, do cleaning, cooking, build the hut if he had to. And in the night he would guard with his bow and arrow while Lord Ram and Sita are sleeping. And he never did. Can anyone of us do that? One night if we have to stay awake, it becomes a drag for the next morning. We can't wake up, including me. If I go for Mangal Aarti one day, next day it's difficult for me to wake up. Right? My Guru Maharaj, he just came back from the hospital recently. The day he came back to the temple, next day morning, 4 o'clock, he is in Mangal Aarti. Like I'm going, oh, I can't do that. I can't even think of doing that. And he went through procedures. He was in the ICU. In spite of all that, next day morning he is in Mangalarti. He travels all over, he used to travel, of course now he is not traveling as much, but no matter how much he has traveled, what time he goes to bed, next day Mangalarti, he has to do the Mangalarti, he has to be present. So they don't tell us what to do. They demonstrate by their actions. Right? They don't go around saying, no, you should do this, you should do this. So nobody will do that. But if they see physically that, okay, he's doing that, then I should also do it. Right? It's my responsibility to follow in the footsteps of my Guru Maharaj. Otherwise, there is no point in having a Guru if we can't follow. And Lakshman also was wearing tree bark, no slippers. So what he would do is he would walk on the path that Ram and Sita are going to walk the next morning. He would walk first to make sure there are no thorns. If there are any, they would prick his feet. He was ready to take all that pain. But he wanted to make sure that Lord Ram and Mother Sita don't go through any trouble, don't go through any pain. So that's how the mode of service should be. Then in Dwapar Yuga, he comes down as Lord Balram. Now what does he do? First, he manifests himself as the Vrindavan Dham. So, if Krishna at some point, baby Krishna, is afraid of a demon, and if the demon is coming very close, Lord Balram would expand the dham so that the distance between Krishna and the demon increases. Right? And then if Lord Krishna is in the forest grazing the cows and he's feeling separation from Mother Yashoda and he wants to go home fast, but the distance is too much, he cannot reach as fast as he wants to go. So Lord Balram as the dham would contract himself so that the distance decreases between Lord Krishna and Mother Yashoda. And within a few steps, he would reach home. This is all, inconceivable. How we just wonder, how can dham expand and contract? But that's the Supreme Lord. That's what we have to first, when we start doing bhakti, that's the first thing we have to accept, the supremacy of the Lord. Unless and until we don't accept the supremacy of the Lord, we cannot understand the Lord. We cannot understand what the scriptures are trying to tell us. And we won't be able to progress in bhakti. So that's the first and foremost, that we have to accept the supremacy of the Lord, and then the Lord will take care of everything else. So the Lord says, I will maintain what you have and I will give you what you lack. But for that we have to accept the supremacy of the Lord. Without that, that doesn't happen. Right? And Lord Balram serves in all the rasas. He will serve as his peacock feather, he will serve as his slippers, he will serve as his flute, as his garland that flower garlands that he wears. Every possible way that we can think of, Lord Balram is ready to serve. It's not like somebody has to tell him, hey, go do this. He knows when Lord Krishna requires what. It's like you should know what your Guru Maharaj is requiring and you should be present with that. That's the real mode of service. Not that you do something when your Guru tells you to do. And here we don't even do what our Guru tells us. Forget about doing before the Guru expects. If Guru tells us, okay, can you do this? We say, I don't like that. Can I do this? Okay. But that's Kali Yuga. Right? And then at times, Lord Balaram, as an elder brother, he would even scold Krishna. He would say, why did you break the pot? Why did you steal butter? You ate dirt, I'm going to complain to Mother Yashoda so that she will punish you. So this is the elder brother's mood. So he would play both the roles. Then when he was tied by Mother Yashoda to the Ukhal for the Damodar Leela, Lord Balaram was not there. So he comes home and he says, you're tied. So first he smiles. Huh? How good, you're tied. So Lord Krishna says, can you go inside and recommend so that she releases me? He said, I'll try. So he goes inside and Mother Yashoda is churning the butter and starts talking to her, and then he says, who tied Krishna? Don't know who he is? So Mother Yashoda says, who is he? So he says, he's the Supreme Lord. Oh really? And he says, and I am his elder brother. I'm Lord Balaram. Oh really? Do all the gods have to appear in my God? Get out of there, I'll tie you also. And he runs. Right? The Lord is running. Lord Balaram is now afraid of Mother Yashoda. And then while going he says, it's beyond me. Now you played the mischief, now you take the punishment. Right? And then in the conjugal loving mood, he serves as Anang Manjari, the younger sister of Radharani, in performing their pastime, loving pastime. So he takes every opportunity to serve. Right? And then he comes and serves all the Brajvasis in Vrindavan. So he doesn't leave any opportunity whatsoever, ever ready to serve. Then in Vaikuntha, when the Lord takes the four-headed form of Mahavishnu, that Lord in whom everything rests, and when that Lord wants to take rest, he would coil himself and take the form of the serpent Ananta. And we can't even imagine how wonderful that bed was for Mahavishnu. At least I haven't slept on that kind of a bed. Right? And then he goes further. If Mahavishnu is cold, Anant will go hot. And if Mahavishnu is hot, Anant will go cold. So he will serve him in that mood. He will know when the Lord is feeling hot and cold. And he will adjust. And we have to go and turn on the heater or reduce the heat. Heater doesn't work as per our choice, right? We have to make it work. So now, and this is the Lord, right? He is the cause of all causes. Sarva karana karana. Due to him, everything living and non-living exists. And he is in the mood of service, right? And we as jivas, we are so insignificant. We are 1/10,000th part of the tip of our hair. And what is our desire? To enjoy, to enjoy, to enjoy. That's our desire. And that's why we are here in this material world. But Nityananda Prabhu, the Supreme Lord, his only desire is to serve, to serve, to serve. So he is ready to serve. And he is teaching us by example, not by telling us. By performing service. He's showing us how we should serve, in what mood. And this service is unconditional. There is no expectation of any kind. Can we do that? We can't even think. Even if somebody tells us, Prabhu, can you do this? Oh, I have something to do, let me come back and then I'm gone. So, we have 10 minutes, so let's briefly talk about the appearance of Lord Nityananda. So he appeared in 1474. This was 12-13 years before Lord Chaitanya appeared. Right? And he appeared in Ek Chakra. It's near Mayapur in West Bengal. And his parents were Hadai Pandit and Padmavati Devi. Right? And as a baby, he was known as Nimai. So he would crawl. And when he's crawling, everybody would feel a ball of cotton is rolling. His body was so soft. And everybody loved him more than their own children. So can we do that? Would you love your own child more or somebody else's child? But here everybody loved him more than their own children. That's the mercy of the Lord. And as a child, his name was Nitai, my mistake. So as a child, he had a group of friends who were very close to him. So they would perform all different pastimes in plays. So sometimes he would act as Lakshman, then sometimes he would ask one of his friends to act as Putana, and he would climb on his body as if he's sucking the life air out of him. So they would start acting, performing all these pastimes, and everybody would wonder, who told him all this? How did he know? And then they would ask him, how do you know all this? He said, these are all my pastimes. And I am giving you this opportunity to see. But then nobody would understand what he is trying to say. Nobody would understand that he is trying to say that I am the Supreme Lord. I am just, showing you my pastimes in real time. And then one of the boys would act as Akrura, who comes and takes away Krsna and Balaram from Vrindavan. And then he would cry to no end in separation. So this was all he was acting, but it was all real. Not artificial acting that we see in Bollywood and Hollywood. So for the first 12 years he stayed in Ek Chakra. And shared all the wonderful pastimes. Then, just before the 13th year, a Brahmana by the name of Lakshmipati Tirtha, he came to Hadai Pandit's house as a guest. So Hadai Pandit and Padmavati would serve him. When he was about to leave, because they were Brahmanas, it's obvious to ask the guest, what can I offer you? And he was a Brahmana too. So as per our culture, we always give gifts. So Lakshmipati says that I don't want anything that you have, I don't want anything that you have, and you don't have anything that I want. All I want is your son. So Hadai Pandit said, but he is very small, he is only 12 years old, what can he do? How can he help you? Leave him alone, I'll come with you, I'll serve you. He says, if I want only your son. So then with a very heavy heart, Hadai Pandit and Padmavati Devi Dasi agreed, and Nityananda Prabhu left with Lakshmipati Tirtha. And then he traveled for almost 20 years, going through the length and breadth of the whole of India, going to all the holy places. And then eventually he was also initiated by Lakshmipati Tirtha. So Lakshmipati Tirtha eventually became his Nityananda Prabhu's guru. And then Nityananda Prabhu finally met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in 1506, when he was 32 years old and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was 20 years old. So that's when they met for the first time. Now, here also, Nityananda Prabhu, when he reached Nadia, he wanted to basically feel more separation from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he wanted to see what is the feeling that I get if I stay away from Mahaprabhu for a longer time. So he went and hid in the house of Nandanacharya. Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knew that he has already come. So he sends his servants, Haridas Thakur and Srivas Pandit, to go and look for Nityananda Prabhu. And they look all over but can't find him because he was hiding in the house, probably in one room nobody knew. Right? So they come back and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes himself to meet him. And even today there is a temple called Sri Gaura Nityananda in Nadia. And that's the meeting place, first time where they met. Right? And Nityananda Prabhu did not begin preaching till Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed him to go and preach. So that is the importance of the instructions of the Guru. That unless and until Guru tells us to preach, we should not preach. We have to take permission from the Guru if we want to preach. So Guru has to sanction. So again, Nityananda Prabhu is teaching us the importance of Guru's instructions. So we should all take this opportunity and learn from Lord Nityananda about the serving mode and respecting the Guru and his instructions. Okay? So I think it's time. I'll stop here. If you have any questions, I can take a couple of.
2 minutes, Prabhu.
Yeah. Any questions? Yes.
I have one, but the generic like Hare Krishna mantra that we chant, what is the actual meaning of that? Like, what is Hare and Ram and like, what is the whole meaning of the mantra?
See, the basic meaning is you are requesting the Lord Krishna and Radharani to keep me in your service. Krishna is Krishna himself. Hare is Radharani, the internal potency of the Lord. And Ram is Lord Ram. So we are chanting and requesting the Lord to engage me in your service all the time. So, on one hand, we are asking the Lord to give me service. We are requesting the Lord that keep me in your service. And then when somebody gives us service, we try to run away from it. So if we are requesting the Lord and then if somebody is asking us to serve, we should take it as the instructions of the Lord. The Lord is asking us to serve because we have been telling the Lord time and again that keep me in your service, keep me in your service. We chant 16 rounds. So that's all we are praying for. So that's the basic meaning of the Mahamantra. Any other question? Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.